Good morning, my love. It has been such a long time since I've been on here. I've been in big hermit. And this might be something that confirms that this message is for you today. You also might be the type of person that goes into hermit very deeply and often and prefers it there. So I am just coming out of hermit and coming back on. Been through an interesting journey, and I'm sure you have as well. I wouldn't be surprised if many of you are going through similar experiences right now. So we're going to take our time and ease into this message. There is something about being okay taking our time into things, and this has been a consistent message for the collective, but we're having a lot of emphasis today on going at your own pace and really feeling 111 when I say that, really feeling the energy around you and fully deciding what that means before we move on. And that can be applied to anything. If you're a reader, if you're working on assignments at your job, communications with others, there is a very significant energy around when we choose to use our throat chakra and speak and how we digest information. I don't like this playlist very much today, so I'm going to change it. It's itching me in a bad way. And that might be a message for you as well. You might be very sensitive to music or external stimulus lately. Okay. This is a little bit better. Okay, yeah, we can't start unless it feels right. But I was encouraged to press play anyway, so this is all part of your message today. I have prepped my main deck for today, and so we're going to be using our Midnight Magic deck. This one is amazing, you guys, if you ever find it. It is the energy of mushrooms, and if you've ever learned anything about mushrooms, they just have so much knowledge and wisdom and capability to assist us as humanity. And so they really are a very overlooked component. I'm curious what we're talking about today. I almost want to get like a theme card. You know what? No, that's okay. Spirit, what is collective's resting focal energy lately? Let's understand a little bit about you first. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. We're having a hard time incorporating the new tools that we've been learning and getting and gaining, and we're having a hard time incorporating those tools into assisting in our emotional state. So this is like the main focal energy right now, which is not super great because it came out in reverse, so it's not very positive. You're obviously going through a hard time right now, and that's okay. I absolutely love to show up and be here, especially when people are going through a hard time, because that is when we get the best information about what's going on and what we need to heal. And I am absolutely always in this line of work to help heal and help guide. So at this time, now that you have a little bit of information about what this reading is going to be like, I would like to ask for consent into your energy to assist you in healing or exposing any wounds, addressing them, and possibly or even giving you confirmation at this time. Information confirmation. If you consent to that, please stick around. If not, go ahead and scroll away. Save this message for another day. Thank you so much for being here. And we're going to get into this Eight of Pentacles. So, let me take a moment. You've been learning something. I don't know if this is my same intuition class that I've been talking to this entire time. I don't know quite yet how the whole collective thing works, where if I'm talking to the same people or not, or sometimes sporadically some others. But I do know that this particular energy that I'm picking up on is somebody that is learning a lot more about their intuition and their spiritual abilities. And so you're ending up here to gain some information on how to clear blocks around your intuition and to apply your wisdom and knowledge in a way that makes sense for your real world and real life. Okay, that's interesting how that came out. All right, Spirit, any other energies we need to be aware of in collective's energy at this time? Externally. External energies in collective's energy field. No mercy. Okay. Five of Pentacles in reverse. I like to show you guys the cards so you can decide what your intuition is telling you as well, and have you very involved in your own reading. I have an inkling that a lot of you guys are readers, are learning tarot and learning about your spiritual abilities. So try to be as inclusive as possible. I'm also being guided to explain that more lately. I'm not sure why. If you've seen my other content, you know we've already gone over this stuff, but there's something lately about it's okay to take your time and explain, and maybe reaching new people or new members of your particular work. Okay, there's a message in that. There is absolutely, it absolutely looks like there's an intuitive block here, but it's something around like friction with change, or a mindset we have around change. Something that clouds your intuitive vision. As I say that, the incense starts coming towards my face. That's cool. Thank you, Spirit. Today, Spirit, the energy feels very comforting and boxy, if that makes sense. I think I'm going to try and explain a little bit more how things feel so that you guys can apply it to your experiences and what you're working on. Because the way I started to learn about my abilities, I've always felt like this. I just didn't realize the whole like this thing was abilities and spirituality. And so the idea of having spiritual gifts and spirituality and intuitive gifts and things like that and psychic abilities hadn't really crossed my mind, because it's something some people just feel innately, and it's just a part of them and they embody it. And so I would not be surprised if many of the members in this community that we are cultivating together experience the same thing. And so I'm going to do my best to explain how it feels for me. I think that would have helped me a lot in my journey. And when it did happen, where things were broken down on a mental level about like what we're experiencing, how we're feeling, things made a lot more sense to me. So I think I'm going to work on that with you guys as we continue on. I'm getting an urge to look at the actual meaning of the Five of Pentacles in reverse. I'm not really big on being super stuck on what cards mean, but every once in a while Spirit nudges me, hey, and they won't let it go. It feels like a thread pulling me to wherever this item is, right? And it just feels like this thread going, pulling my attention. And so that's that's like a nudge. And it's very subtle, right? But the more you practice on trusting yourself and trusting those nudges, the more confident you'll be in your abilities, and then you'll be able to convey information coming to you. Okay. And we're just going super slow today. This is one of those days. Okay, so Five of Pentacles in reverse is healing from neglect, forgiveness, positive changes. Any suffering you've experienced because of the meanness or neglect of others will fade. You'll find a more welcoming crowd when you connect with your own identity and celebrate it. So, emotional time, having trouble incorporating our tools, a wound that is blocking our intuition, having to do with neglect or an external force. So right now we're healing from some type of wound, and we're starting to come out of that. This wound healing first of all, I want to mention that this all didn't happen to knock you down. This happened to expose a wound. Collective's done a great job about healing, and sometimes we miss a step or we don't fully extract a rotten piece out of us. And what ends up happening is spirit has to come in and bring things back up. That's why sometimes traumas will resurface. Spirit has to come in and bring things back up and pull all that away and rip out what's very big confirmation right now. Rip out what's still eating at us and not allowing us to fully heal. And then what ends up happening is we rebuild with those tools that we've gained. And we're able to integrate what works very easily, and what doesn't work, we know it doesn't work, or it only worked for the time because it was aiding in a half-healed scenario, if that makes sense. There's a very wise energy, very calm and very, I want to say older, somebody very much taking control of this reading right now. I'm not typically in this much of a sage state. This is very interesting to feel. They're allowing me to articulate my thoughts and emotions very well. If you have a way to access that within yourself, that might be something or a mentality that will assist you in doing readings or doing your art or your job or your purpose. Accessing that sage-like energy within you, you can ask your spirit team to help you. I feel a very heavy presence today of somebody assisting me with my words and my energy today. I think I needed it, and that's okay. We all need help sometimes. I will be the first to advocate for you and let you know it is absolutely okay to do something and to do it scared or anxious or worried and figure it out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It never has to be perfect. You just have to do your best and be authentic. That's what matters. And somebody needed to hear that. All right, spirits. So we have our cards that let us know our focal energy right now and things that are affecting our energy right now. Give us a card, please, that lets us know what we want to strive for in our energy. What do we need to look for to most assist us in healing this at this time? Wow, that flew right out. 5 of Swords in reverse. Oh, I should show you the upright, shouldn't I? Okay, that's a specific message. Let's turn this upside down. You have access to this energy. We need to flip it around, though. So, Hangman. And then I have the King of Swords. Okay, whoa. Okay, a lot of information's coming in right now. I have the King of Swords in reverse sitting at the top. And then under that, the King of Pentacles. And under that, the Fool. And I'm not going to take the next card because it's not part of the reading. Okay. This isn't what this card is, but I believe anyway. But I always get a very strong energy in this card of adventure and companionship. You see the 2 children in the background and they have the boats. That's the companionship, the 2 slugs, an adventure. They look so tiny in this big mushroom. And that's perspective as well, which I've never pointed out once before when having this card in a reading. that lets me know that perspective, and that Hanged Man is important with this. So what specific energy are we need? We're striving for that passion in life. Working together. Being okay. What is it specifically, Spirit? Being flexible and spontaneous. Those two things will help you whenever emotions are high. We're going to go ahead and look at the definition of the Five of Swords in reverse. I know this is a, not transformation, but a transition and change energy. Humiliation, bullying, reconciliation, flipping that around. So you guys, there's something that has happened with... Something has kind of knocked you down lately, I'm getting. So on the spiritual side of things, we're learning to transmute these negative experiences from the physical and flip our perspective around it. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Spirit. One thing that I have learned that has really assisted me in my journey in my mental health. My journey did not... Bounty Hunter. Interesting. My journey did not begin, at least so I thought, as a spiritual journey. My journey began as a mental health journey. There's been a lot of mental health issues in my family. And the biggest thing that has helped is literally getting a really firm grasp on my perspective and how that affects my reality. So when it comes to these, I mean, we have Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, right? All of these came out in reverse around energies that we are residing in, energies that are influencing us, and energies that we should be striving for. This lets me know that this is big transmutation. And if you haven't heard the terms like you're an alchemist or transmutation, please look into it. It is vital for understanding a part of who you are specifically. If this reading's for you, you already know it and you feel it. This is a very... I'm getting betrayal wound, and it is exacerbated, or has been recently exacerbated, and we're working on healing it. It's taking longer this time because you're doing it the full way. This isn't because you're not doing it right. You're not being punished. This is happening because you are getting at the full root of the issue. This King of Pentacles and King of Swords. There have been, and I'm getting that a lot of you, this might be a wound around a masculine. There have been a lot of perhaps masculines, or this is to a masculine about a feminine. I am getting very strong masculine has wounded me vibes here, which is not surprising, and we're going to talk about it, so don't get worried or scared. There have been a fair amount of important male role models in your life that may have let you down or betrayed you. This could be a father figure, a brother, a husband, boyfriends, friends, or even just, grandparents, any kind of male role model in your life, teachers even. This has really affected how you perceive yourself in your feminine, and as a feminine, you may have started to build the belief that you need to be the man of the situation and take control of situations because nobody else had been able to step up for you. I'm getting really emotional when I'm saying that, so I think I'm hitting something. Wow. Definitely significant wounding around that. This particular setup together with the Fool underneath is letting me know that this time in your life is over, right? And we experienced these wounds so that we could figure out what healthy masculine looks like for some of us in our lineage. There hasn't been very many examples of what a very positive male role model, head of the family looks like. And so we've had to learn what not to do. A lot of us are raising young men and raising up the men around us through our friendships, through how we talk with our parents, through our relationships. And this is a community effort, just like it is everybody's job to keep women safe. It is also everybody's job to create a safe emotional environment for men. This is interesting. I wasn't expecting this to take a turn the way it has. But anyway, this wound, the way it's showing up from a masculine, you have learned to heal it, and you've had masculine show up in your life who are more positive. Spirit's asking you right now not to be so hard on those masculines or the masculine side of you, because you are going to look at it more deeply than is necessary because of your wounds. And that is a gift that you can look deeper. And if you have the same kind of job that I do, where you're supposed to look at wounds, address them, and assist in healing them, make sure you're not abusing that in your day-to-day life. And make sure that you're getting consent before you do those types of things. Specifically for yourself, so that you are not giving more than is necessary. That is part of that wound as well, is giving more of us than is necessary for a masculine. Okay. Whatever energy, I think this is a masculine energy in me explaining this today, because I just feel so calm and very deliberate in my words. It's interesting how this is coming through today. Thank you, Spirit. This is all changing now. You are in a new era of this. So we can't look at our previous wounds anymore with masculines. We cannot, it's not healthy either. If you are somebody who wants a relationship at some point or wants to work on your relationship, you can't compare your partner to previous partners. And we do this out of it's a protective mechanism that our brain has. But we have evolved to where we're smarter than our brains. We can outsmart our brains. And so it's important to take advantage of that evolution and give our partners a fair chance. Because in doing that, we're giving ourselves a fair chance. And this wound will close, and your masculines will show up more positively for you the more that you rest in your healing and acceptance of others and acceptance of the self. If you are hard, this is going to be a hard pill to swallow, but if there is something you are hard on somebody else about or judgmental, oftentimes that is because that is something within us that we do not accept about ourselves. So take some time to really think about your relationship with masculines, because that masculine energy is in everyone and is not directly tied to physical male entity. It is specifically a spiritual aspect, and so there is and that is the aspect of action and doing and even destruction to some extent. So we have to, and leadership, protection, those kinds of things that come up with that energy. Feel free to always do your own research. I'm just here to convey the messages that I can, and in my own special way that I've learned, and through the assistance of my spirit team, sometimes your spirit team. It just depends. But this is coming out pretty strongly that we need to address it. And this has been a hard time for you. I want to let you know and congratulate you on getting through this hard time. 25-25, when I say this is shifting. You are not going through it anymore. This is the end. Take this as your sign that you are finally moving past this. And I know this has been a long theme in your life. You needed a little bit of a pick-me-up that this is over. And it is. Okay. I was drawn to this Starseed Oracle earlier. And I want to pop this right in the middle and see what we have for you. What can help us in healing this wound further and moving forward with this clean slate? Yeah, I'm being shown like wipe it away as if it had never happened. And I know that's hard, especially if you are a victim of abuse. I stutter to say that because I remember there's things that you can't say on YouTube, but I don't know all the rules. So hopefully it's fine. But if you're a victim of abuse, it may be a lot harder to heal that wound, especially if it was inflicted on you by men. So try to remember that, what you gained from it, right? And not residing in the experience of it or what was taken from you, which I know is very hard. I've experienced these things myself to very extreme measures in this lifetime. One of these days I'll talk more about some of the things I've been through, but it is very difficult to heal from that. And so you really deserve to congratulate yourself and be congratulated on the work you've done. That is a very tough one to heal. But we want to start to wipe away bias. The type of work that you're meant to do on this earth doesn't require a bias. And requires unity. This is the new earth that you might be hearing about. We are looking for a new vibration of earth where we are more positive and unified and more of a utopian society. Obviously, utopian society is not possible, right? But we can do things to create more harmony in our society and create more harmony with one another and just with the human experience, because we are leaning into a technological age and leaning out of spirituality. And so spirituality needs to become the forefront again so that we can have healthier healing processes while we're on earth. All right, how to continue to heal this wound and wipe this slate clean, spirit. You're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. So this is the second time now that spirit is bringing up partnership and your community. The first time was with this 5 of Swords in reverse. And you remember how I said to show you in the opposite. So we need to allow in others. We need to allow in those connections and not be afraid. These are my loners. I know because I'm one. And we prefer being alone. We feel safer that way. But I want you to know that just because we feel safer being alone doesn't mean that's where we need to stay forever, right? There's value in letting others in, and you are withholding the blessing of yourself from others when you continue to choose to be alone. And that's okay to be alone. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that we can let people in more and feel safe doing that, because you're not here to be all alone. You were not sent here. You did not sign up to be here to be all alone. So let's move past that mindset. Anything else, Spirit, for continuing to heal this? Rely on the people in your life. You have a few strong figures in your life that you know you can trust. I'm getting that sense very strongly. Lean on them, and don't be so afraid that you're upsetting them with your problems or your emotions. You're not a burden, and you're the first one to help them when they need something. Okay? Someone needed to hear that. That's coming from a feminine figure that loves you very much, actually. That just came through really strong. She loves you very much. Wow. Deep cellular healing. Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. That's interesting. So leaning on that feminine to get you through this, trusting your emotions. That makes a lot of sense, actually. And that's a big confirmation about this entire reading. That this has been about healing this wound, and that it's on a deep level. It specifically says deep cellular healing. This is on that root. It's that core of the issue. That's come up in another reading I did. I did a reading for my little sister. And that came up in her reading too. That's in the collective lately. And I wouldn't be surprised if other readers are talking about that as well. I'm actually going to look into that. But that's just been coming up so strong. And I don't know if that has anything to do with this new earth. I don't know a lot about it. I just know a little bit about what's going on in the community and what resonates when I hear things and things that have come to me. There has been an awakening that I've had in terms of Mother Earth and feeling her energy strongly, that I cannot deny. And she is absolutely calling us, her children, her creatures, to assist her in healing right now. As we heal, she heals. And we're all together in this process. So when and that, the time was 3221 when I said that. Everything is happening in the right order at the right time. And it starts to come together. And I wouldn't be surprised if 1,000 years from now, they end up talking about this time in history as a very spiritual awakening for the entire planet. Okay. Wow. That's pretty big to say. Spirit, anything else to help us heal? Anything we need to face right now to help us heal this wound around betrayal? I don't think there's any dragons for you this time. And that's okay. That means this is pretty simple and you've done most of the work. Just keep opening your heart. I know that's really hard, but it is possible, my love. Congratulations on making it this far. I want to remind you that you are a tree. I wrote a poem about it if you want to check it out. But you are a tree. You require sunlight, you require water, and you require fertility. Eat your food, drink your water, get fresh air, and take good care of yourself. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.